Hello. Right, lobby 1 live, just in my usual bits and bobs. A little bit late, it's just been a really rushed evening. Everything that could get delayed tonight got delayed, so a little bit late. So yeah, live for lobby 1. Post that. Perfect. Right, we are rocking and a rolling, ladies and gents. Thank you to Deepest Angel for finally hitting that follow button. She's normally in on a Thursday night supporting the one and only Heracram. So we're going to head on to track in a moment. I'm just getting set up. Qualifying underway. And the drivers are about to show us in the next 10 minutes what they've got, of course, from Laguna Seca tonight. So let me just turn on my keyboard and all the other gubbins. Cool. Hopefully we don't have any lobby issues tonight like we did last week. Last week was kind of plagued with them. We had to recreate and reset the lobby at one point because of the issues we faced. They have been a little bit more stable though. So glad to announce that there doesn't appear to be much of a repeat as far as they go. P-Gib, Evening Chief, thanks for holding on. I did rush back, but yeah, it's one of them nights where everything that could get delayed did get delayed, and it's driven me back a little bit. So what have we got in store for you tonight then? Well, the usual 2-race format. So we're underway with a 10-minute qualifying session at the moment. This is going to set the grid for the first 2 races. The first race, that one, that's going to take about 20 minutes. That's the one where qualifying order matters. Then we do the reverse grid race and reduce the race time to 15 minutes for race 2. That's the one where you'll tend to have the fast guys at the back and they will have to fight their way through the pack. How many drivers do we have in tonight? We've got 9 drivers tonight, so not really a full field. Unfortunately, tends to happen with these Meganes, which is a shame because they really do produce really good racing. You tend to see that you start the lobby, you start the season with a full lobby of cars, and then numbers dwindle through the series. You do have a lot of the stalwarts who stay, so the Ruddos, the Janos, Heracrams, the names you see on your screen basically. They have all made every effort to make every single race and have put in max effort every single race as well. Tracks like Laguna Seca are going to prove a very particular challenge to a lot of the drivers tonight with the corkscrew. That famous corner, it drops 3 stories in height. You can see Bruce Lee Harding navigating it now, so you drop down the crest, that's a 3-story drop. Elevation change right there. And it really doesn't look that bad, but believe me, when you're in a lightweight, stripped out race car where performance is everything, yeah, you really want that. So the first of the hot times beginning to peel in, then Ruddo gets us underway with a 23.2. Jaino then with a 23.4. Valley Matt 23.5. Martin 23.7. Bruce Lee Harding 24.1. Heracram 25.1. Subertus 25.6. Matty Rudd 25.9. And P-Gib, he's just on his first flying lap now actually, so we'll get to see what P-Gib's got up his sleeve down in the number 92 car. Oh, terrible exit from the last corner. Unfortunately for P-Gib, is going to carry that mistake all the way down the straight, and that's going to put him in a 24.3. So even with that mistake, and that mistake does cost you, it's a good half a second in some cases that mistake can cost you. So P-Gib's there or thereabouts on the money at the minute. Someone who is on the money and has been the entirety of the championship is the number 24 car, driven by Simon Rudd. He's absolutely been on it the entire way through the championship, has been tit for tat chatting with Hirocram the entire way through. I don't have the tables handy. I do believe they've been made, but I just don't have them handy, I'm afraid. So yeah, Woodo's improving his time, 23.2. I'm interested to see what Hirocram's bringing to the table. He's just going round now. Can anyone else improve and leapfrog their times? So far in lap 2, no one really improving. No one really making strides. Everyone losing a little bit of time on lap 2. Hirocram though does go purple. Finally gets himself off the mark with a 22.9 purple sector 1 as well. So he's 3 tenths faster than Woodo at the moment. We'll see what the number 24 car's got to answer. Just halfway through sector 2 now, so a lot of time to be made here at Laguna Seca, but you do need to have the balls basically to make it work. It's not an easy track to extract the absolute maximum out of. You've got to somehow evade the gigantic sausage curbs which litter the circuit and get on the power at the right time, etc, etc. Hirocram is still purple. Woodo just going around the final corner, just about to go around the final corner, sorry. He has a 22.9 to beat, so he's got to get himself in the 22s. He's got to improve by at least 3 or 4 attempts really, in order to dislodge Hirocram from his perch at the top of the tree. It's not going to be this lap. Can Hirocram improve on his 22.9? He can. 22.913 takes 100th off it. We'll just jump on board with Hirocram for a lap. So turn 1. Hold the inner apex. You can take a late apex for the second phase of the corner. Just don't run too wide on the right hand side. Look for the number 1 marker board. That's roughly a turning point. Hirocram gets it in a little bit earlier. And then looking at the end of the curb for your turning point here. A little lift is all that's needed, and just avoiding that sausage curb on the right hand side. Hitting it will send this car flying. Next braking point is the number 2 on the right hand side. Just ease the car in, use the camber of the corner to pull the car around. Under the V3 bridge, this is blind. You come into this blind, you can't see it. You look for the number 1, that's your turning board. Again, you might see drivers run it wide on the exit there. That will lose you a lot of time. Down into the corkscrew then, just as you go over the crest of the hill. Just get your braking sorted, stay in third, you hold the speed that way. Going down to second can cause over rotation of the car. Again, use the camber of the corners to make your car go through the corner with the most apex speed physically possible. The last corner, easy to overshoot this one. Brake earlier than you actually think and get the car tucked in for a nice early apex. Run the car out wide. Back on the power again for a run down the main straight. Shorten it as possible. 22.8 this time for Hirocram, so does improve on that time. Can Woodo answer with anything? His last lap of 23.2, so he's struggling to break into the 22s. That gap now 4 tenths of a second. We know the points are earned in the race though, and that's where Woodo does tend to sing, to be fair. Jaino still holding a good position in P3, but just 3 thousandths of a second behind him now is Bruce Lee Harding with a 23.479. Rally Matt then P5 at the moment. Martin P6. P-Gib had improved on that early pace. We saw he's got a 23.9 in the bank now. He's not going to improve that this time round. He's going to set himself up for probably another big attempt at it. Matty Rudd, 24.1 for Matty Rudd at the minute. P8 for him with Suburtus propping up the rear of the field at the minute. 25.6 for Suburtus. So there's a 3-second gap between all the times on show. But at the business end it is pretty close. Despite the fact you've got a ton of time that can be won or lost here. I've actually raced with Hirocram in these cars at this circuit, and I can attest to the fact that it's an absolute weapon. He absolutely smashed me up that race. I'm not afraid to admit it. Hirocram though this time around 22.5, so he stretches the advantage over Woodo now to over 5 tenths. Woodo, who did improve that time around as well, he's got a 23.1 on the board now. So he has taken another 10th off his time, but this is his last chance saloon now for another lap. Jaino has improved as well, not by a fantastic amount. It does edge the gap closer to Woodo. 23.3 for the number 13 3M car. Bruce Lee Harding now still on that 23.4. Rally Matt still on a 23.5. For most drivers now, we're into the last lap territory, so this is where we go to the timing screens and just keep an eye on what everyone's doing. We'll see. Sector 1 doesn't really give too much away. It's only really 3 corners. Hirocom, as you'd expect, purple. Rudo has gone personal best. Sector 1, maximising the corkscrew there in Sector 2. He is up on his time, but he's also earned a little bit of a penalty. So unfortunately, he did just push the limits a little bit too much there. Hirocom also looks like he was burning off a penalty as well. So the top 2, I don't think are going to look to improve this time round. P-Gib is improving as well. Yeah, Rudo doesn't improve that time round. Hirocom doesn't improve that time round. P-Gib was a car that was improving his time. He's only through 1 sector though, so not a full story. Another car that was improving its time was Bruce Lee Harding. He was up on his time, so was potentially even Matty Rudd coming towards the end of his lap now. Where's Bruce Lee Harding coming around the final corner? We'll come back to him. Matty Rudd does improve by 2 tenths, puts him up to P7, dispatches P-Gib down to 8th. Bruce Lee Harding then last to go for him. He's not going to improve on his time. He's backed out of that one. Last laps for a lot of drivers then. We've not got a ton of improvements happening. Suburtus, can he improve on his time? He doesn't get himself off the bottom. P-Gib always got a penalty. P-Gib, who in fairness actually didn't gain much time in the second sector, so it was never going to be an improvement, I don't think. But that's P8 for P-Gib. We've still got the top 2 trying to set lap times, unfortunately for both of them. I say that as Hirocom goes purple in sector 2. Rudo didn't appear to be improving. Hirocom is absolutely maximising this lap. That actually might cost him a little bit of time. Let's keep an eye on Rudo, see what he manages to put together. 22.5 to beat, he's not going to beat it. Hirocom, can he improve on his time? He can. 22.4 in the end is your pole time. 22.489 for Hirocom, who I believe is championship leader still. Jano then, what can he do? If he gets into the low 23s, he could potentially dispatch Rudo off the top. He does indeed. He gets a 23.0 on the board and chucks Rudo down to the second row of the grid. I think that is all cars now having set a time. I think, oh wait, no, Suburtus is going again. We'll see what he can do. Rudo's not happy with Jano. Just think of it, you get the slipstream, Rudo. That's the bands are kicking off already. Yeah, so Suburtus isn't going to improve on this one. After 10 minutes. Yeah. I don't know actually. I think he got it in time. I'd have to recheck, but I think he got there in time. I want to say he did anyway. Oh, there's some flack being thrown. Some flack being thrown in the driver chat then. So in the end, it's Mr. Hirocom who's proving to be the dominant one here in California. We'll review post-race. Yeah, well, yeah, well, fair enough. But I don't know what you can do about it. Not a lot you can do live. It's not like we've got live stewarding, so not a lot you can really do. There's things like the honour system in it. You've just got to kind of take people at the word. They say they got the lap in, they got the lap in. You know, there is in these leagues there tends to be a level of trust with stuff like that when we have to do manual qualifying, because we can't use the automatic system because it's just terrible. So Hirocom then gets the outside line going into turn 1. That's not the favourable line as everyone gets away. Rudo's going to immediately be looking for the attack as he dives down towards the left hand side, immediately looking to get past Jano off the start line. picks up a penalty for his efforts as well. I mean, that's I'll be brutally honest, that was, you get a ridiculous penalty here, and Ruddo immediately into the lead of the race. Hirakram and Jano all but shuffled down the order. They're now in 3rd and 4th, Rally Matt in 5th, Matty Rudd in 6th, Saberta 7th, Martin in 8th, and P. Gibbs had a horrible start. He's down in 9th position. Yeah, that penalty for Ruddo, there is, I can't explain it, but basically turn 1 is essentially just a tiny little kick to the left, nothing really to it. If you run a tyre on it, you get a penalty, but I'd argue you don't really get an advantage off doing it. It's a slightly straighter line to the corner, but off the start it's negligible. So whether that will be looked at, obviously one thing that was in discussion prior to the last round was gaining an advantage. So gaining a lasting advantage, and you'd probably argue that Ruddo may have potentially got a lasting advantage, being he's now in the lead of the race, but I also think that penalty he's got is slightly bogus. You get it for nothing, and I won't be surprised if it's the first time we see that penalty given. Meanwhile, we've got Rally Matt in the background, literally rallying off the circuit. I'll show you the core, I'll show you the line. So if you look to the left now, you see that green strip? If you ever so slightly go 4 wheels near there, you get a penalty. And then a crowded start, I think the stewards would just look at that and go, look, it was a very crowded start, everyone's competing for space into turn 1. I don't really see you can further penalise a driver for going for a move there. We will of course see if the stewards have anything to say about that. Meanwhile, the fight is on now. Ruddo v Hirakram, the battle we've all wanted to see. It's Hamilton v Verstappen all over again. This time they are in French hot hatchbacks, so providing all the electrical recalls have been done on these cars, will be absolutely fine to go. Hopefully they don't break down. So Jado, they're starting to drop back a little bit, a 1.5 second gap now to Hirakram. His biggest problem is going to be Bruce Lee Harding, who's got the pace in the tank there with Matty Rudd in tow, to potentially start upsetting those podium positions. A little bit further back we've got Sabertus, who's had a great start up into P7. P. Gibb has dropped back. Martin, he's having a terrible go of things. He's down in 9th at the minute, 13 seconds off the lead of the race. Ruddo is coming under pressure now from Hirakram, he's just 3 tenths behind him. Hirakram, you've got the pole position, don't forget. Was essentially mugged down at turn 1. Will he look to mug Ruddo off down into turn 1 as well? One thing I've really enjoyed about this fight between these two is it's been faultlessly respectful between the both of them. As Hirakram almost sells him a dummy. Ruddo was sort of pointing himself at the apex anyway. Hirakram tried to sell him a dummy to go down time. What Hirakram's doing now, it's a very strategic tactic that a lot of racing drivers use, and it's just he's in no position to make a move at the minute, as you can see. But you'll see him occasionally just pull out of the slipstream. He'll just go for a look. And that's with very little intent sometimes to actually make a move. It's usually to put Ruddo off his braking point and turning point. It's to force the car ahead into making a mistake. But Ruddo is an experienced driver. He's got brilliant racecraft. He knows how to pilot a car around a circuit, and to be honest, tactics like that may not work on Ruddo. We will of course see though, as the gap between the two shortens by the second. As we drop down into the corkscrew for the first time of asking tonight, they are nose to tail then, ladies and gentlemen, coming towards the end of lap 3, and I have to look away from this battle because there are 7 other cars on the circuit also trying to navigate their way around it, so we'll come back to that one and just keep an eye on it. I'm hovering over the replay button then, as we do see Ruddo go defensive to Hirakram. Yeah, so I'm glad I just got back to that. There is a little bits of gaps between a lot of these cars now. We've got Sabertus trying to put the moves on Rally Matt. I commented before that he's had a fantastic start. Bruce Lee Harding's had a big fall from grace somewhere. He's now down in P8. Can't really tell you what happened to Bruce Lee Harding, I'm afraid, because I was too busy concentrating on what was going on ahead. But yeah, he's lost 10 seconds that lap, so he's really fallen down. That's going to give Jano a bit of a breather though. Jano was beginning to come under threat from the dread car, and he's just starting to pull now a little bit of a gap to Matty Rudd. He can focus now on the cars ahead. Jano, he's kind of a silent assassin. We've seen him do this before, where he just lurks in the background. He'll wait for the cars ahead to start fighting, and yeah, he picks up the scraps essentially, so he's like a vulture. It's probably what I'll nickname the guy now, but yeah, he's done that to great effect. and just used good racecraft essentially to pick up points and positions through this championship. Wodo still leading the way as we drop down the corkscrew once more. They're not really being dragged in by Jay. Now that gap is 1.6 seconds and was growing a second ago. Elsewhere in the field, we've got Pegan trying to close in on Bruce Lee Harding. Bruce Lee Harding, who had just got past him. But it is all about this little fight at the top of the field now. Wodo v Hirochrome. Get rid of the stuff around the screen for a moment and we can just watch this in pure HD glory. Hirochrome, despite the dirty air he's getting behind the Geisen car, he's still managing to get really good apex speeds out of that Megane that will want to naturally just wash out a little bit at the front. We just cut to the action cams again for a moment as we go around what is essentially turn 4. And they are side by side then. There is nothing separating them as they come down to the braking zone towards turn 6. Wodo and Hirochrome side by side again as we come under the VP Racing Fuels bridge. Hirochrome ends up just backing out of that temporarily. I'll just go to the front view of Hirochrome's car. Does he end up going for a move down at the corkscrew? I was going to say he's very brave going for a move down it. Oh, Wodo's made a slight mistake. There's contact, there is contact, but I will be brutally honest, that was more Hirochrome just was collected essentially as part of the error. Sorry, I got a little bit excited there and couldn't get my words out, so we'll just go on board with Wodo and see what happened. It looked like he just got a kick of oversteer coming out of the corkscrew, so he's going defensive. He's down into third. Yeah, the car just got upset on the curbs. He was spinning way before Hirochrome touched him, so I don't think there's any issues there as far as race cleanliness is to go, I suppose. But yeah, that's Wodo down to P5 now. Jano, like I said, Jano the Vulture was waiting for the mistake to happen from the guys ahead. The mistake from the guys ahead happened, and he's now in P1, a second clear of Hirochrome, who of course was slowed down by that incident. I think initially was going to wait, but then obviously realised that he was not at fault and didn't need to, so carried on. Matty Rudd now into a podium position because of all that, but he's getting chased down by Wodo, who has got past Rally Matt. I'll be honest, I can't imagine Rally Matt will have put up too much of a fight against him. He can use Wodo to bring Matty Rudd back into play. So if Rally Matt can stick with Wodo for the time being, then that'll aid him over the remaining sort of 12 minutes of the race. Martin's off the circuit, he's in the gravel trap, he's going to make some sandcastles. The thing is, if you've not managed to get much practice time in, there's contact then between Pegan and Bruce Lee Harding. Both cars managed to survive, just about. The overspeed though from Pegan and Bruce Lee Harding, who admittedly probably defended just a little bit late. Pegan went the only direction, I'll be honest, I think he could have gone in that situation. It was too late to go right, so I think he did the right thing. Yes, there was a little bit of contact, but I'll be honest, it was kind of unavoidable. So Jano now being chased down by Hirochrome. So I'm trying to drink this coffee before it goes cold as well. I wasn't expecting this start to this race to be so goddamn exciting. Unfortunately, Wodo made a mistake and that put him out of the fight, but it's pretty much nose to tail between him and Hirochrome. Wodo is 1.2 seconds off Matty Rudd, although once he navigates past Matty Rudd, he's got a bit of a task at hand to reel these two back in again, unless they do really start fighting. Jano, it's sometimes hard to predict what he'll do. Will he defend this position, or will he concede it to Hirochrome? And just instead battle away for that P2. It's hard to predict what he'll do. He's certainly got the pace to compete for the P1 position. He ain't slow. Obviously before Hirochrome and Wodo had their little coming together, he was sticking with them on genuine merit and he wasn't getting slipstream, so it's hard to say what he might do here. Jano certainly looks like the car's got defensive body language all about it. He's opened up a gap for Hiracram, though he's kind of inviting that move, I'll be honest, and Hiracram goes through into P1. So Jano now, this is probably where his racing brain's coming in. He's thinking, I'd rather protect P2 to potentially get in a fight, reel Matty Rudd and a very fast Ruddo back into the fray, and start battling away and losing down to potentially P4, even P5 positions. Suburtus having a great run of things so far, despite saying that. He's just gone on the gravel. Bruce Lee Harding does look to make a move, gets a little bit of the sausage on the exit, but it's nice and tidy between the three of them. P-Gib also looking to make a move on Bruce Lee Harding as well. P-Gib gets himself up into P7. That was a nice move then by the number 92 car. He's going to try and chase after Suburtus now. Suburtus, as I was saying, I think he even put in the group chat before, it's going to be a lonely old race for him, but he's been far from it. He's had an action-packed one so far. Granted, he's lost the pack. The top 5 have escaped away, but that's more because these guys have been battling away, and those battles have costed them all time. So Suburtus running very well at the minute. Certainly not a million miles off the actual pace, and as we've seen, Ruddo is up into P3. 3.6 seconds is the gap then, and yeah, Matty Rudd had let him go near the corkscrew. 3.7 seconds is the gap between Ruddo and Jano. He's got 8 minutes to close that gap, and Jano last lap was a 24.3, so in theory Ruddo should catch him in a couple of laps time. Meanwhile, the fight for P6, which is between Suburtus, P-Gib and Bruce Lee Harding, rages on. It's not an easy track to overtake out here at Laguna Seca. It's not necessarily the track width, it's the track peril. So it's the risks involved in making any sort of move around here. As you've seen, there's only really ever one racing line to take because of the way the corners are cambered and the way the sausage curbs work. To see Suburtus just gets it wrong there going into, what's that, turn 5. Bruce Lee Harding is having to completely back out of anything here because he just doesn't want to go through that section of the circuit side by side. Oh, we've got Martin spinning in the background in the number 4 sales icon. We might choose to come back and have a look at that, but P-Gib instead is trying to make a move on Suburtus, and that was beautiful side by side through the corkscrew. But as I've just been saying, going side by side here is laced with peril, and P-Gib almost immediately goes down to P8 then, as Bruce Lee Harding just gets a much better run out the corner. Let's have a look at how that worked out from P-Gib's perspective. So Suburtus is defending the corner, so they're going side by side, nice and tidy. Just gets it a little bit mixed up on the exit, has to take the wide line, and that invites Bruce Lee Harding down the inside. P-Gib immediately attacking back, going for that P7 spot. Ruddo back down to 5th. Oh no, Ruddo's had a horror show. 34.8 last lap round, so for some reason he's made a mistake somewhere. That is going to hand, I would confidently say, that would hand Matty Rudd a podium position, but we will see. There is 6 minutes to go here, and as you can see, anything can happen. Suburtus is having the race of his life at the minute, defending away to these 2 cars behind him. He's just keeping his lines clean. Unfortunately, he's just going to look like it was undercut then, really, by Bruce Lee Harding, who just went up the inside. Can he defend it going into the corkscrew? Will these guys go side by side? They will go side by side. Suburtus loses out that time. Gets a little bit of oversteer on the exit of corkscrew. That's exactly what we saw Ruddo do before, and that has also on this occasion cost Suburtus a position, but he can potentially fight back again, as he's still getting the slipstream from the car ahead, and he's still got P-Gib to worry about. A little bit rough there on the exit of that corner, but it was still faster than Bruce Lee Harding, and he can now start chasing down the dread car. Of course, Bruce Lee Harding is only really going to be able to think about the cars behind him. He's 8 seconds away from any cars ahead. And this battle here down for 6. It's absolutely enthralling now. It's a 3-car fight that's changing every single lap. Let's just have a little bit of a recap then as we've got the remaining 5 minutes. We've got Hirokram 3 seconds in the lead. He's just set a fastest lap of the race of 22.7. Gino comfortable P2 at the minute. Matty Wood's not really gaining on him. He's 3 seconds ahead of the guy in P3, Matty Wood. Matty Wood is 2 seconds ahead of Rally Matt, who is 6 seconds ahead of Ruddo, who must have had some sort of incident there on lap 9. Not too sure what happened. I'm sure we'll find out in the post-race chat that we tend to have. Then it's Bruce Lee Hardy in 6th, Subertus 7th at the moment, with P Gibb in 8th and Martin in 9th. Although you would confidently argue that if it finishes in this order, I'd be very surprised, because these guys have been dishing out punishment left, right, centre. Absolutely great fight, by the way. It's not been remotely sort of controversial, or there's not really been any contact between any of them. It's just been nice, good moves, really. And now P Gibb and Subertus, do they want to fight over this 7th place, or do they want to get after Bruce Lee Harding? With 4 minutes remaining, they'll be hesitant to work together. So I'd estimate you'll just see a P Gibb who wants to get past the number 23 Fuchs car as soon as possible, in order so he can attack Bruce Lee Harding for that P6 spot. We will of course see. Let's just check in with our race leader. Yep, he's still there, setting purple sectors. He's due to go even faster than a 22.7 if he gets these last 3 corners right. I'd love coffee. I love coffee. When was it he got past Jano? Was it like lap 8 or something? Pulled 7 seconds on. Yep, 22.5. There you go. Alien confirmed. Yeah, Jano's last lap was a 27.0, so he's made a mistake somewhere along the line, Jano. He'd built up an even bigger gap to Matty Wood before then. So Matty Wood's actually a lot closer now than he was before. Yeah, 27, he'd lost, news makes a difference, 4 seconds that last lap, so some sort of mistake somewhere from Jano. Woodo's not really making a dent in Rally Matt's time either at the moment. P Gibb has made some sort of error as well. He's last lap was a 1:30.1 for him. He's dropped him well out of Subertus range and actually into Martin range. If Martin can start to push on a little bit, granted he's having a bit of a hellish race, is Martin. He's not enjoying Laguna Seca. I think Martin's been having problems with his wheel as well. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure he's been having some technical issues, so that could be a potential cause for it. Is Hirokram going to go even faster than the 22.5? I don't think he's going to go this time, is he? No. 22.8. What are you doing, Hirokram? That's slow, mate. 22.8. What are you playing at? Jano's in the 24s now. So is Matty Wood. It's not a big issue. Rally Matt could reel Matty Wood in the next lap or so. I think the top 4, maybe top 5 will get another lap out of this. Then it's Bruce Lee Harding, Subertus, P Gibbs and Martin's last lap now. They won't get round in time to start another one. And unfortunately for us, the field spread a little bit. And we'll just finish off my coffee. Don't need to hear me gulping on stream, do you? In the break I'm going to go and try and look for the tables. They'll be outdated of course because they won't reflect the points that are scored in this one, but we'll get an idea. We'll get an idea of where the drivers were in relation to each other on entry to this one, because no doubt this result is going to throw a bit of a spanner in the works for Woodo's push. it's certainly going to throw a spanner in there. Let's just watch 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th come across the line though. It's going to be their last laps now. So Bruce Lee Harding going to finish in P6 in the number 69 Dread car. Good race for Bruce Lee Harding, albeit a mistake that dropped him down there in the first place, but enjoyed a good battle with this man Suburtus and this man P. Gibb, who finishes in 8th position, and then Martin may be glad to get that one over. He's in 9th place. All the plaudits, all the love, all the adoration is going to this man, Mr. Hirakram. Pretty much a faultless race other than the first 2 corners. Admittedly, he did get mugged off a little bit by Ruddo down into turn 1 for what it looked like anyway, but he immediately just kept calm and made amends for it. And yeah, that's another dominant performance, and for the Joyce Design car, who now surely takes some sort of commanding lead at the top of the table. I will go and try and dig out the points though, so I can give you a rundown of those in the break. We normally get a few minutes break between races, so it should give me an opportunity to review it. J&O, great drive from J&O, hung in there like a vulture and picked up the extra position. Marty Rudd holds on for 3rd with Rolly Martin 4th. Ruddo is going to finish in 5th place after what must have been a mistake. I don't know what happened to Ruddo though. I didn't see it on stream. P-Gib. Oh, I've got a hack for that, P-Gib. I got a hack for that. If you go on Messenger, then in the top corner you go on photos and videos, and you just scroll back down. Oh, the ones I've seen, Gibbo. Yeah, the ones I've seen, mate, has got Ruddo leading. Are they the right ones? If not, let me know. Yeah, they must be. They must be. The problem is I can't tell when they were posted though, that's the issue. It doesn't like say date posted was this. Aye, that's them. It's not on like a proper table, is it? It's the what's the word? It's just like the spreadsheet that it uses. Alright then. Oh, so there must have been some contact. Anyway, let me save that replay because I need a thumbnail. Alright, so yeah, we've got a couple of minutes. So let me run through the points. Now these are points coming into this round. So these points do not account for that race you've just seen. Just bear that in mind. So coming into this one, Ruddo was top of the tree, 220 points, just 5 points ahead of Hirakram. I've got a notification someone's dropped a chat in and I haven't seen it. Anyway, I'll come back to it. So yeah, Ruddo 220 points, Hirakram 215. That will no doubt now have flipped, so I'm assuming now Hirakram after that result will probably be top of the table. Bruce Lee Harding holds down 3rd at the moment with J&O in 4th. Again, that result's gonna have brought that battle a lot closer as well. Hillclimb Racer, who isn't here tonight, he's always around because he's messaged in the group chat, so I'm not sure why Hillclimb Racer's not here. Couldn't make it last week either. I know he had didn't he have some uni work to do or something like that? I want to say he was doing something quite important. What could be more important than racing though, to be fair. Matty Rudd, P6 in the championship, 119 points. He was just ahead of P. Gibb on 118. Martin on 100 points. Snav 79 points in 9th. Rally Matt 10th, 76 points. Rally Matt's probably leapfrogged that position as well. Adam ID, who's not racing tonight, 73 points in 11th. Suburtus 12th on 68 points. Again, Suburtus might have just picked up an extra position there now as well. JPH, who's too busy playing cricket, 65 points, P13. Timmy and D10 Piper, neither of them are racing at the minute. Hill Climbers exam, yeah, I thought it was it was something important, wasn't it? You know, a little bit. It's kind of important. Yeah, I think Piper's working, isn't he? I want to say is because I know he watches the stream sometimes. I know he's still in the group chat. I want to say he's working now. Anyway, race 2 coming up. If you've got your reading specs on, and hopefully this part of the stream's in high resolution, you may be able to see that the next race is a 15-minute endurance race, sprint race. Same track, same conditions, just a reverse grid based on yeah, sorry, my controller does this sometimes, it just stops working. It's about 10 years old. It will literally just turn itself off for no apparent reason. It doesn't, it's not low battery, it just disconnects. It's stupid. Yeah, so just a shorter race tonight, another 15 minutes. Correct, on my way at work. Fair enough, yeah, I thought you might have been. Welcome to the stream, Mr. Piper. Drag your PS4 to work, mate. I'm just going on break. I'm back in 45 minutes. Depends what you do, I guess. If you're like a copper or something like that, wouldn't fly, would it? Just stop arresting someone just because you've got to overtake someone. Anyway. So this is the one then where all the action happens. We've got 15 minutes then. Lights out, away we go. Everyone seems to get away well. Woodrow again immediately goes on that attacking inside line, but there's a car in there. That's Rally Matt's car. He wasn't able to quite make moves past that vehicle just yet. Sirikram goes free wide at the back. The door has been shoved closed, I'm afraid, and You Shall Not Pass has been activated. P-Gib immediately leaps into the lead with Ruddo up to P2 already. Bruce Lee Hard in P3. There is a little bit of a scuffle then, a little bit further back. Hirocom has made up a place. Jano's going off-roading. Matty Rudd's going to try and take advantage of that, as Jano might have quite worn tyres now. Yet they're getting a little bit fiery here down in 6th position. Rudder then moves up to the top of the order with Bruce Lee Harding in tow behind. P-Gib holds P3 at the moment, with Suburtus holding on for 4th against Martin. Then it's Jano who's going to try and sneak down the inside of the corkscrew. They all just about make it through there alive. Matty Rudd holds P7, Hirocom in 8th, Rally Matt in 9th. Traditionally, Hirocom struggled in these reverse grid races because it's typically right at the back, so he's got the most amount of traffic to feed through. He's got a lot better at them this season. He's definitely getting a lot more practice as we see him slide himself up to P7 versus Matty Rudd. Matty Rudd though with the inside lines immediately going to have that position back again, but Hirocom will try and challenge for that down as T1. Meanwhile, Ruddo still ahead of Bruce Lee Harding. Bruce Lee Harding goes very deep there into turn 1, and P-Gib's going to look to sneak up the inside. Doesn't get that move finished off. Hirocom though does get that move made on Rally Matt, who is fighting away with Martin. Martin just about holds that line, locked up a brake going into turn 3 though, made him shoot a little bit deep. Hirocom then holding P7, his championship adversary is running away with it at the top of the field. There is a 4-second gap between them at the moment. Hirocom will want to get on with this easy, but it's not easy making moves here, as he's just finding out as Matty Rudd shuts the door then as they come up towards the VP Fuels bridge. And a sea of red lines in front of Hirocom. Then he's going to have to pick his opportunities wisely here as Suburtus invents new track limits. everyone's slowing each other down. Hirocom just gets a really nice line coming out the corkscrew there. He's going to nip himself past Matty Wood. How friendly will Subertus be in letting him by? Will he let him by? Doesn't have to. They're racing for position. People don't just have to jump out of the way. Indeed, Subertus is not doing that. He's holding his line, which he's fully entitled to do. Meanwhile, Rudder with a 1.4 second gap over Bruce Lee Harding now. Bruce Lee Harding and P. Gibbs still occupying second and third respectively. Jano in fourth, Subertus in fifth. Hirocom late on the brakes. Nice move around the outside. That's a beautiful overtake if he can get it completed. He can't though. Matty Rudd instead. Matty Rudd just invites himself down the inside, and Rally Matt as well relegates Hirocom down to P8. That was potentially a little bit naughty, to be brutally honest, but let's have a look. Actually, I might just be reading this contextually wrong. Let's have a look at Matty Rudd's perspective. So Matty's going to go for the cutback here. I'm not sure. It's a very hard one to judge. Like I say, the difference between success and absolute devastation here at Laguna Seca is absolutely minuscule. There is not much opportunity to make mistakes here without making an absolute hash of it. Subertus though makes a move. He's up to P5. Oh no, he was in P5. He's defending that move. That's Matty Wood behind him. And it's just looking for that move around the outsides. And yeah, that was Subertus just being able to defend it around the outside. So again, good driving from Subertus. He's on it today. Yeah, he may not always get the results. But he always puts in the effort, and you've got to absolutely respect that. Same for every one of these guys that are in here right now. They've all stuck this out through thick and thin, and I've got to respect that. Ruddo though holding the line at the moment, 3.3 seconds away at the front. Jaino's up to third, then past P. Gibb. Subertus still holding strong. He's still got Hirocom behind him. Hirocom who has got back past Rally Matt and Matty Wood. Will try and attack the Dutchman any moment now. Will he go for this one round the outsides? Subertus takes his line, holds it to the inside. Again, nice driving between these two, nice and respectful, enough space given for both cars. Hirocom's going to have to try and get this done on the run up to the corkscrew. The problem Hirocom's got then is P. Gibb, the top four, sorry, just starting to dart away now. Oh, that was a nice move by Hirocom. Nice move there by Hirocom. He just basically waited for the door to open. He knew it would. It was a matter of time. He didn't pressure Subertus here. He just waited. Yeah, look at that. That's a beauty. So that's Hirocom then up to fifth. Matty Wood also invites himself down the inside of Subertus. We've got all sorts of overtaking going on here at the back. Jump on board with Rally Matt because he gets a good view of this move. It was last of the late breakers there by Matty Wood. And again, it's getting a little bit bargy here in Lobby 1. It's something we've had all season as the 7th and 8th run side by sides. Rally Matt just about holds it to Subertus at the moment, who's dropped down from what was a 5th place down to 8th. Occupying that 5th place at the minute is Hirocom. Is beginning to chase down P. Gibb now. Leading the way though, leading the charge. 4 seconds between first and second then is Ruddo, and we're already 7 minutes in, so we're very nearly at the halfway point of the race. Bruce Lee Harding is having to work to keep this position ahead of Jaino. Will now start just gaining on P. Gibb. Subertus has got a little bit of a penalty, but it doesn't really matter. Probably just a minor track infringement. We're starting to see some stories emerge, and this Hirocom picks up the fastest lap of the race. So the gap between Hirocom and the lead of the race is 8.2 seconds, so unless he's going over it's not even a lap, is it? He's going to have to go a couple of seconds a lap faster than Woodrow, which just isn't happening at the moment. Woodrow's banging in 23s, and I think as long as he's doing that, he'll be absolutely fine. It's just a case of how many points can he pick up and get just damage limitation really for Hirocom at the moment. His championship fight. That's what happened to Woodrow last time, you'll remember. So if it finished the way it was now, Woodrow would regain the championship lead, and there would still be that 5 gap. Oh, but that's not going to happen because P-Gib has P-Gibbed it. And it's the exact corner he pointed in stream chat that was challenging him. It's on the run up to the corkscrew, the sausage curb on the left. Does he hit that? He does indeed. It upsets the car and sends him off to Blackpool Beach, and he is building sandcastles in the sky now. His P-Gib as Hirocom does make his way past him. He's fallen down to 5th with Matty Wood potentially going to start breathing down his neck a little bit. Suburtus was one car there going off-road completely. Who was that? Was that Suburtus? It could have been. Let's have a look. I don't know whether it was one of these cars ahead that was completely off the circuit. Oh no, yeah, it was Suburtus, and then mine. Both of them just inventing new track lines. That's absolutely fine, boys. Yeah, you crack on. So next target then for Hirocom is Jano. Jano and Bruce Lee Harding have been embroiled in a little bit of a fight for the last couple of laps. These boys probably could do with working together, but with just 5 minutes remaining, I'll be honest, I don't see it happening. We can almost leave Woodrow alone at the minute. He's doing what he needs to do at the top. Not much more he can do right now. As Jano does look for that gap, coming down towards the corkscrew, doesn't manage to get it made there. He's going to have to rethink this one. As the gap between Hirocom, you can just see it shrinking by the second. If Jano can get himself ahead of Bruce Lee Harding, you then turn Bruce Lee Harding into the next car to get attacked by Hirocom, and that'll potentially give you a little bit of a buffer if you're Jano to get away. That's probably what's going through Bruce Lee Harding's mind right now, is that if I can retain my position, Hirocom's going to start attacking Jano, and it might just give me enough to start escaping away. Just had a knock at the door, just going to check it 1 second. No, I'm hearing things. It was nothing. Oh dear. Alright then, so where were we? Hirocom has caught up to these boys now as Jano has got past Bruce Lee Harding. Sorry, that was when I was checking if someone was at my door. So Jano's got himself past now. Now Bruce Lee Harding's job now is, do I attack or do I defend? With 4 minutes to go, that's about 3 laps worth, to be really honest. So can you defend against Hirocom for 3 laps? Or do you play it rather smart, let Hirocom go and then let Jano and Hirocom have that fight and potentially pick up the scraps? It's a hard choice to make, and to be fair, no matter what choice you make, you potentially could lose it all. As we see Suburtus and Martin fighting away for the not last challenge. Suburtus had a great round, to be fair. He might walk away from this feeling a little bit dejected because the results haven't gone his way, but I think he's driven absolutely superbly tonight. And a track where a lot of other drivers have struggled. You know, granted his pace hasn't been sort of Hirocom Woodrow pace, but it's been very good, very consistent. He's always battled away. It's been very clean every time I've come to him, so kudos to Suburtus. Been an absolute pleasure watching him drive tonight. Another man it's always a pleasure watching him drive is Hirocom, as he tries to carve his way through the field. He's struggling now. Woodrow is another one. He's just doing the job, isn't he? This is what he's doing. He's got, when he gets ahead, when Woodrow gets clear track ahead of him, he's a hard man to catch. He's very good when he's leading a race, and as he's doing that at the moment, he's just pulling time to the cars behind. who are now fighting over these final podium positions then, as we've got just 2.5 minutes remaining in this one. It is Bruce Lee, Harding, Jano and Hirocram all battling away for 2nd, 3rd and 4th place. At the minute, Hirocram's really struggling to get a move made on Jano. We'll just look back from Bruce Lee Harding's perspective and see if the Joyce Design car manages to get anything done. Jano's just doing enough really. He's driving absolutely fine. There's absolutely no issues with the way any of these guys are driving. Hirocram is genuinely just struggling to execute the pace that he's normally executing. Sorry to other drivers in the field. We'll just check in on that battle at the back. That's still rumbling on, of course. But this is where the action is, ladies and gents. This is where it all is, and this battle for 2nd. As we've got Hirocram then going side by side with Jano. Hirocram backs out of that move and can't make it happen there. We've got one more lap after this then. This is going to be the penultimate lap. Now, how much damage limitation can Hirocram execute in this final lap? If he can't get past Jano, it's going to make it very close in the title fight. If he can pick up those extra points for P3, maybe even P2, it will surely put Hirocram at an advantageous position coming out of this round. One more lap to decide that one, ladies and gents. It's Ruddo leading the way though, and unless he makes a catastrophic error, it's a clean sweep for Ruddo. He's done an absolute superb job tonight. Hirocram is going to go for the move down into turn 1 though. Everyone nice and light on the brakes. Jano just go a little bit deep. Hirocram tries to pick it up on the exit, but you'd argue that Jano had that covered all day long. The 3M car is making that Megane as wide as it possibly can be, and Hirocram is just struggling to make moves past it at the moment. This is giving Bruce Lee Harding a little bit of a breather at the top, just enough in the tank there for Bruce Lee Harding for him just to start escaping away. Saying that, he makes a little bit of an error then coming into turn 6. Oh, Jano makes an error as well. He immediately has to go and cover that mistake. Hirocram can't take advantage of that, and he's running out of corners now, Hirocram, in order to do anything about this. Jano with dirty tyres coming up to the corkscrew might just have a braking issue. Hirocram again not able to do anything. Does he do what he did on Suburtus? No, Jano covers that one off again. Just 3 corners remain then for Hirocram to pick up some extra points here, but Jano is tidying this up as much as he possibly can. Bruce Lee Harding is scampering away. He's pulled a second almost in the last few corners, and that is how much defensive driving Jano is doing. Meanwhile, at the top, Ruddo takes the win. Sorry, Ruddo, but the battle behind you has been absolutely enthralling. Bruce Lee Harding takes P2. Jano just holds on for P3. Hirocram could not get past him for P3 and finishes in 4th. P Gibb is going to grab 5th. Rally Matt in 6th. Matty Rudd 7th. And then it's going to be again between Martin and Suburtus. They're going to come through to take 8th and 9th, nose to tail, in what has been an absolutely thrilling round of racing here at Laguna Seca. Won second race by Ruddo, and again that just adds fire to the flames really that is going on between Hirocram and Ruddo. Are drop scores a thing, by the way? Am I still thinking that drop scores are still a thing? If they are, how does that shape up the title fight? Nearly styled that out. I did call it, I can't remember what I said now, probably something along the lines of he's done a P Gib. But you said it in the chat though, Gibbo, you know what I mean? You mentioned and you said, look, that was the corner I was struggling on. And predictably he just made an error there. Really good round of racing though. I mean, look, I'd love to have a full round of cars here. Confidence was shot. Yeah, it's a hard corner, mate. It's blind. You just can't see it. You need a reference point that's not on the track, and it's always hard to get it. Yeah, man. But hey, it's Laguna Seca, mate. You're either a hero or you make a mistake. That's the difference. It's very hard to be consistent at Laguna Seca. I mean, this thing, Ruddo, like, when he got away at the top, because he didn't have anything behind him, sorry, or anyone really putting him off. That's why he could just nail his corner entry points every single lap. Hiracom threw everything at him. Yeah, it was a really good race between Hiracom and Giano. Really good race. Yeah, he did. He's just pissed off today. Better race behind him though. Hiracom, Giano and Bruce Lee Harding, they had an absolute battle. It was great. Anyway, I'm going to end it here. We will be live again next week for round 8 of the Powermax Racing Megane Trophy, ran and organised by Next Gen Racing. We're running out of races, so next week we have 2 races, and the round after that I think we have 2 races, and then I think that's it, isn't it? So I'll try. I don't know what my hours are next week for work, but I'll try and get on a little bit earlier, like 5 to 8, and just go through like the points and stuff and permutations and who needs to do what, and we'll see if we can sort something out for that. No worries, Pega. You'll be glad to hear that your race tomorrow will be getting live comms as well, because I'm not racing. I can't be bothered. My head's not in it at the minute, so yeah, I can't be arsed. So yeah, you'll be getting live comms on Elite 1, I think. It'll save me a little bit of time doing them post-race. So look forward to that, mate. But thank you very much for watching tonight. Appreciate it if you've stopped in and chatted and kept me company for the last hour or so. And I'll see you all next week, same time, same place, for more action-packed, hot French Renault action. And I'm quite surprised we made it this far into the season. None of them broke down yet. It's a glorious sim racing. Right, see you next time, guys. Take care of yourselves. Bye bye.